When Suikoden 3 hit the PlayStation 2 in 2002, it had massive shoes to fill. The first two games in the series were already legendary among RPG fans, with Suikoden 2 in particular earning a reputation as one of the greatest RPGs ever made. So, expectations were sky high for this third installment. Rather than just giving players more of the same with shinier graphics, Konami took a bold step forward, delivering a game that innovated on nearly every level. Suikoden 3 takes place in the Grasslands and Zexan Federation, a region that had only briefly been mentioned in past games. This new setting expanded the Suikoden world, offering players a fresh landscape filled with distinct cultures, conflicts, and histories. Unlike the first two games, which largely focus on single, centralized conflicts, Suikoden 3 introduced a world where multiple factions vied for power, each with its own beliefs and motivations. Despite the new location, Suikoden 3 remains deeply connected to its predecessors. The game takes place roughly 15 years after Suikoden 2, and several characters from the previous games make appearances, providing continuity for longtime fans. The legendary Harmonian mage Luke, who played a minor but intriguing role in the first two games, steps into the spotlight as a major antagonist, revealing his long-simmering plans and internal struggles. His presence ties the narrative directly to the greater lore of the Suikoden universe, making the game feel like a natural continuation rather than a disconnected sequel. Additionally, returning factions like the Harmonian Empire and the Karaya clan deepened the political intrigue, giving players insight into the broader world beyond the settings of the previous games. The introduction of new True Rune lore also reinforces the overarching theme of fate, power, that has always been central to the series. One of the biggest departures from previous games, you could argue it was the biggest departure, was the introduction of the Trinity Sight system. Instead of following a single protagonist, Suikoden 3 puts players in the shoes of 3 different main characters: Hugo, Chris, and Godot. Each had their own unique perspective on the unfolding war between the Grasslands and the Zexan Federation, allowing players to see different sides of the same conflict. This system added depth to the storytelling, creating a more nuanced and immersive world. In past Suikoden games, the narrative was fairly linear, but Suikoden 3 encouraged players to piece together the full picture through multiple viewpoints. It wasn't just about seeing different events, it was about experiencing the motivations, struggles of the different factions involved. This was an ambitious move for an RPG at the time, and it helped set Suikoden 3 apart from other JRPGs of the era. The combat system in Suikoden 3 was another big shakeup. Gone was the traditional 6-character freeform turn-based system of the past games. Instead, battles were structured around a unique pair-based system, where characters were grouped into units of 2 and took action simultaneously. This meant players had to think more strategically about team composition, positioning, and synergies. Some fans missed the classic system, but once you got the hang of the new mechanics, battles felt pretty fresh and exciting. Adding to the mix was the improved skill system, which allowed for deeper customization. Characters could now be specialized in different ways, making party building more dynamic than in previous entries. This was a major step toward modern RPG progression systems and gave players way more control over how they developed their favorite characters. Suikoden 3 was also the first game in the series to go full 3D, and while the jump wasn't as smooth as some might have hoped, it was still an impressive evolution, especially for this particular series. The environments were more detailed than ever, the towns felt more alive, and just seeing the world of Suikoden from a third-person perspective rather than the traditional overhead 2D view just added a new level of immersion that really excited Suikoden fans. And to this day, seeing your favorite characters like Vicky in 3D was just cool and still is. One of the standout locations was the new castle's headquarters, which, as always, grew as players recruited more and more characters. This base building aspect has been a staple of the series, but seeing it in 3D made it even more satisfying, at least to me. Watching your fortress evolve and fill up with 108 stars of destiny never gets old. On top of that, Suikoden 3 offered a variety of mini-games that added fun diversions from the main story. Players could enjoy activities like horse racing, a card-based trading game, the ever-popular Melville's treasure hunt. Cooking battles also made a return, providing a quirky but entertaining side challenge. These mini-games, as always, helped break up the pacing of the main quest and gave players yet another reason to engage the game's world and characters. Then there was the lottery game, which wasn't really a minigame, but I did end up winning a bunch of potch, so shout out to the lottery. One of the things that truly makes Suikoden 3 stand out is its mature and layered storytelling, and this is something this series is always very good at. While war has always been a central theme in the series, this game dug even deeper into the complexities of conflict. It wasn't just a matter of good guys versus bad guys. Every faction had legitimate grievances, and every major character had their own perspective on what was right and wrong. Chris, for example, starts off as a war hero, but gradually has to confront the consequences of her actions. Hugo, a young warrior from the Grasslands, struggles to understand his place in a war that has taken so much from his people. And Godot, a veteran mercenary, acts as an outsider, providing a more detached but insightful look at the unfolding events. This nuanced storytelling made Suikoden 3 feel much more like a character-driven epic rather than a straightforward fantasy adventure. looking back, Suikoden 3 wasn't just another entry in the series, it was a bold reinvention and evolution. It experimented with storytelling, gameplay, and world building in ways that many sequels just wouldn't dare to. While some of its changes were divisive among longtime fans, there's no denying that it pushed the boundaries of what a Suikoden game could be. On release, Suikoden 3 was both a critical and commercial success. It was the best-selling game in the series with over 377,000 copies sold in Japan, and approximately 190,000 copies sold in North America. Critics praised its ambitious storytelling, deep characters, and unique gameplay innovations. Though some found the 3D visuals and combat system a bit rough compared to traditional JRPGs of the era, fan reception was similarly mixed. Many loved the fresh approach to storytelling, while others longed for the more traditional mechanics of its predecessors. Even today, Suikoden 3 remains a fascinating example of how a franchise can evolve without losing its soul. It's a game that asks players to see the world from multiple angles, embrace change, and think beyond simple narratives of heroes and villains. More than just a sequel, it was a statement. A game that refused to play it safe, and in doing so became a truly memorable RPG experience. So, whether you're a longtime fan looking to revisit the game, or a newcomer to the series curious about what made Suikoden 3 so special, one thing is clear. It's much more than just another sequel. It's a journey worth taking, a story worth experiencing, and a game that stands tall in the pantheon of classic RPGs. All right, thank you all for watching. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Let me know what you think of Suikoden 3. I personally love it. It's hard for me to separate 1, 2, 3, and 5. I think 4 is a little bit lower on the list, but let me know where it ranks in your Suikoden tier list. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless.